coming out. Hey, I want the world to know. I got to let it show. Oh yeah, sorry guys. It is freaking hot here in the Bay. It is like we're having a heat wave. I mean, I think all of California is having a heat wave. And before I continue, I need to have something refreshing. My sparkling water. Hold up. Please hold. Oh, this heat wave got me tripping. This heat wave got me burning. Heat wave. Alright, let's get back to what we're talking about. Self-help. That's right. You do not need to read 100, 200, 300 self-help books to change your life. Hell, I couldn't even sit still long enough to read 3 books. When I started self-help many years ago, I bought a lot of books that I never read, meaning I wasted a lot of money. I watched a lot of videos, and the problem was it only motivated me in the short term. See, I was a person before who didn't even make it through the entire book. I thought I was a self-help expert. So what I do? I would regurgitate what I read to my friends and family, and I didn't know what the hell I was talking about. All that I knew is that it gave me a false sense of progress that just was an illusion that I sadly continued for many years so that I wouldn't feel hopeless with the direction my life was going in. Do you know what I'm talking about? Can you relate? See, I was like this for many years. Eventually, I abandoned self-help because I didn't think that it worked. Boy, was I wrong. The only thing that wasn't working was me. I wasn't working for me. Then who the hell was I working for, right? Well, I was working for everyone else, for their validation, for their love, for their commitment, for their praise, and for them to value me, because that was something I could never do for myself. Value me, because I didn't know how. My value was always wrapped up in others. And what I didn't understand when I started self-help, that I understand now, is that if you're on a self-help journey, it won't work if your true intentions isn't for yourself. I know it sounds so simple, right? But it's not, because back then I thought, I could swear up and down, that I was doing it for myself. But how could I if I didn't want to accept accountability for my actions? See, I wanted to continue to blame others for why my life was going the way it was going. I didn't want to put in the work. Hell no. I wanted whatever I read in those books, saw in those videos, to give me a shortcut to the finish line of success. For me, self-help was about learning how to be successful so I can make my life better with money, period. Money, I thought, would prove that I was somebody in life and that I had finally made something out of myself. Because as a person, I felt less than. And I was always running from myself because I didn't want to face all of my traumas. See, self-help, I thought, was my ticket out of this internal emptiness that I was feeling of not being good enough. See, I remember when I was in junior high, and I was really bad. I ain't gonna lie. I was cutting class. I had this know-it-all attitude. And I remember one day, my teacher looked at me and she looked me dead in the face and she said, "You ain't gonna never amount to anything in life." And I remember how bad that hit me, how bad it made me feel. And at that moment, I wanted to prove her wrong. I also wanted to slap her too, but I didn't want to go to jail because, I want to pick who I'm gonna be with. Can you relate to that? You know what I'm saying? But what that did to me is I wanted to prove her wrong and everyone else who had ever did me wrong. So when I initially started self-help, I was operating from a flawed mindset that success equals revenge. And self-help was the key to get me there. Now, this go around, however, my mindset about self-help is completely different. You know how people say that you should be kind to yourself? I say that all the time, and it's true, you should be kind to yourself, but you also have to be real and honest with yourself to work for yourself. I stopped making excuses for my behavior, and I owned
all the bullshit. I sold myself a lot of bullshit
that I was selling myself. I wasn't no victim. I was the solution that I didn't know that I needed. See, I was scared to face myself because I didn't know what I might find. One of the hardest things I had to do was look at myself in the mirror and own every decision I had ever made without blaming someone else for why my life was the way it was. Self-help works, but the information that I had shared with you in this video is useless if you don't know how to get to this place that I finally was able to get to.
Don't worry. Oh, no.
Don't worry. I got you the way I got me. This video will teach you how I finally start liking myself, to invest in myself so that I can work for myself. And you can too. Peace.
Yeah. I know you got problems, know you at the bottom, know you took a loss today.